Good day, ma'am. Sorry, what are you doing with that car?
This is my car. I live here. It's mine.
Yeah, right. We got a call that someone matching your description was breaking into a car. Can I see some ID?
So what's this all about? This vehicle is mine. That doesn't sound right.
Hands behind your back and don't say another word.
Are you racially profiling me?
What's this about?
The body camera footage starts mid-approach. Officer Derek Hastings walks up a concrete driveway in the Meadow Brook subdivision of Durham County, North Carolina. The neighborhood is quiet, established, and clearly well maintained. Homes in this area average around $450,000. It's a calm Saturday morning, the kind where nothing unusual ever seems to happen. A woman stands with her back to the officer, calmly washing a gray Mercedes GLE SUV using a garden hose. She's wearing a purple hoodie and black joggers. Clear water runs down the hood of the vehicle and spills onto the driveway. "Morning," Officer Hastings says. She turns slightly, surprised but composed. "Good morning. What are you doing with this vehicle?" "I'm washing it. I live here." "You live here?" "Yes." There's a brief pause. The officer shifts his stance. "We received a call about someone matching your description, attempting to break into a car on this street." Her expression changes instantly. Confusion first, then understanding. "Break into a car?" she asks. "I'm washing my own car in my own driveway. Can I see some identification?" She sets the hose down and reaches into the pocket of her hoodie. She pulls out her driver's license and hands it to him. He examines it closely. The body cam slightly zooms as he reads it out loud. "Kendra Thompson, 1847, Laurelwood Drive." "That's this address," she says calmly. He doesn't respond right away. Instead, he flips the license over and looks back up at her. "What do you do for work?" "I'm an assistant state attorney. Durham County District Attorney's Office." The officer pauses. He looks down at the license again, then back at her face. "Do you have the registration for this vehicle?" "It's inside. Do you need me to get it?" "Yes." She walks toward the house while the officer stays standing on the driveway. He radios dispatch, though the audio isn't clear on the footage. The body cam clearly captures the house number, 1847. The mailbox reads Thompson. She returns moments later holding a registration card and an insurance document. Both list her name. The vehicle identification number matches the Mercedes parked in the driveway. Officer Hastings reviews the documents silently, then hands them back. So she asks, "What was the actual complaint?" "Like I said, someone called about a woman trying to get into a car on this street." "Yes," she responds. "What address?" "I don't have that in front of me. But you came to my house. You matched the description." "What description?" He doesn't answer the question directly. Instead, he shifts his weight slightly and says, "Look, I know your kind of people like to make a scene, but I'm just doing my job." There's a brief silence. "I'm sorry," she says, her voice still measured and controlled. "What do you mean by my kind of people?" "You know what I mean." "No, I don't. Can you clarify?" Before we continue, if transparency, accountability, and constitutional rights matter to you, subscribe. This channel breaks down real body cam cases using official records. No dramatization, just the facts. Now, back to what happened next. "Ma'am, I need you to stay calm." "I am calm. I'm asking you a question." "You're getting defensive." "I'm not defensive. I'm confused. You came to my home, accused me of a crime. I showed you my ID, my registration, and now you're making comments about my kind of people. Are you racially profiling me?" The officer pauses. His hand hovers near his handcuffs. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." "Excuse me. You're under arrest." "For what?" "Obstruction." In North Carolina, obstruction requires interference, not questions, she says. "I haven't obstructed anything. I answered every question. I showed you my documents. I live here." Turn around. This is racial profiling. Turn around now. She stands still for a moment. Then, slowly, she turns and places her hands behind her back. The handcuffs snap shut with a metallic click. "You're making a mistake," she says quietly. Two neighbors step out of their homes across the street. One is a white woman in her 60s. The other is a black man in his 40s. Both stand on their porches, silently watching. The officer escorts Kendra toward the patrol car. She does not resist. She does not raise her voice. The body camera records every second. The 911 call that triggered the police response was logged at 9:41 a.m. The caller reported a suspicious woman walking between vehicles on Laurelwood Drive. No specific address was provided during the call. The caller disconnected before offering any additional information. No other emergency or non-emergency calls were made from that street on the same day. On November 18, 2 days after the arrest, the Durham County Sheriff's Office received a formal complaint submitted by Kendra Thompson's attorney, Robert Chen of Chen and Associates. The complaint alleged unlawful detention, arrest without probable cause, racial profiling, and violations of Fourth Amendment rights. The responding officer's body camera footage was immediately flagged for internal review. On November 22, Captain Lauren Briggs of the Professional Standards Unit formally opened an investigation. In her preliminary report she wrote, "The officer's statements and the sequence of events raise serious concerns regarding both procedural compliance and implicit bias." Officer Derek Hastings was placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. Dr. Malcolm Floyd, a professor of constitutional law at Duke University, reviewed the body cam footage at the request of local media outlets. "This is a textbook example of pretextual policing," Dr. Floyd said during an interview with W News. The officer lacked reasonable suspicion to detain Ms. Thompson. She was on her own property and provided identification confirming both residency and ownership of the vehicle. At that point, the encounter should have ended. Dr. Floyd continued, "The comment referencing 'your kind of people' is particularly troubling. It strongly suggests bias, and the subsequent arrest for obstruction is legally indefensible. Obstruction requires an affirmative act that interferes with an officer's duties. Asking questions does not meet that standard. It is a constitutionally protected right." The body camera footage was released publicly on December 3, 2024, following a public records request filed by the Durham Herald-Sun. Within 48 hours, the video had accumulated more than 2 million views across online platforms. Community organizations, including the Durham chapter of the NAACP and the North Carolina ACLU, released statements demanding accountability and transparency. Reverend Thomas Knight of Solid Rock Baptist Church organized a town hall meeting on December 7. More than 300 residents attended. "This happened in broad daylight," Knight told the crowd, "in a neighborhood where people of all backgrounds live and work side by side, and it still happened. That tells you something about how deeply rooted this problem is." Local news outlets quickly amplified the story, followed by national media coverage, bringing widespread attention to the incident and its implications. The New York Times published a feature titled "Profiled in Her Own Driveway: The Arrest of a Prosecutor." CNN aired a segment featuring legal analyst Laura Coates, who said, "What makes this case especially striking is that Ms. Thompson did everything right. She complied. She provided documentation. She stayed calm, and she was still arrested." It raises a chilling question. If credentials and composure don't protect you, what does? On December 10, Durham County Sheriff Gerald Marsh held a brief press conference. "We take these allegations very seriously," he said. "Our department is committed to fair and impartial policing. We are conducting a thorough investigation and will take appropriate action based on the findings." He did not answer questions. Privately, according to sources within the department, leadership was preparing for serious legal and financial repercussions. On January 14, 2025, the internal investigation concluded. Officer Derek Hastings was found to have violated departmental policies regarding reasonable suspicion standards, discretionary authority, and professional conduct. He was terminated effective January 15, 2025. In an official statement, the department said, "The actions of this officer do not reflect the values or standards of this agency." Hastings did not appeal the termination. On January 22, 2025, Kendra Thompson filed a federal civil rights lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Middle District of North Carolina. The defendants were Officer Derek Hastings and the Durham County Sheriff's Office. The complaint alleged violations of the 4th and 14th Amendments, along with claims under North Carolina state law. It sought both compensatory and punitive damages. The case was assigned to Judge Patricia Timmons Goodson. The plaintiff's legal team submitted extensive evidence, including the full body camera footage, dispatch records, the original 911 call audio, and Officer Hastings' personnel file, which revealed 2 prior complaints alleging racial bias, both previously deemed unsubstantiated. The filing also included testimony from neighbors who witnessed the arrest and expert analysis on constitutional policing standards. The defense argued that Officer Hastings acted in good faith based on the information available at the time. Judge Timmons Goodson denied the motion to dismiss, ruling that a reasonable jury could find the arrest unconstitutional. In March 2025, both parties entered mediation. The county's insurer assessed the potential liability as high. The bodycam footage was unambiguous. The arrest lacked legal justification, and the officer's statements created significant exposure under federal civil rights law. On April 8, 2025, the parties reached a settlement agreement. Kendra Thompson would receive $15 million. The county admitted no liability, a standard provision in civil settlements. The agreement also required revised training on implicit bias and constitutional policing, along with a commitment to third-party reviews of arrest and traffic stop data. The settlement was approved by the county board during a closed session. On April 10, County Manager Tanya Evans released a public statement. "While we do not admit wrongdoing, we recognize that this incident caused significant harm to Ms. Thompson and raised serious questions about our practices. We are committed to ensuring every resident is treated with dignity and fairness. Reforms are already underway, and we will continue working with community partners to rebuild trust." Through her attorney, Kendra Thompson issued a brief statement following the settlement. "This was never about money. It was about accountability. What happened to me should not happen to anyone. I hope this case serves as a reminder that no one is above the law and no one is beneath its protection." She declined further media interviews. The incident occurred in a neighborhood that defies common stereotypes. Meadow Brook is affluent. It is racially diverse. Crime rates are low. Homes are expensive. Residents are educated professionals. And yet, on a quiet Saturday morning, a black woman washing her car in her own driveway was arrested. Her credentials didn't matter. Her address didn't matter. Her calm demeanor didn't matter. What mattered, according to the legal findings and the public record, was an officer's assumption. That assumption led to an unlawful detention. It led to an arrest without probable cause. And it ultimately led to a $15 million settlement. Body camera footage provides a level of accountability that didn't exist a generation ago. It shows what actually happened, not what is later claimed. In this case, it showed a woman doing nothing wrong. It showed an officer acting on bias. And it showed a system that, eventually, held that officer accountable. But accountability came after the arrest, after the humiliation, after the lawsuit. The question that remains is how many similar encounters happen without cameras, without lawsuits, without consequences. If cases like this matter to you, if transparency, accountability, and constitutional rights matter, subscribe for more breakdowns of real bodycam footage and investigative case files. No dramatization. Just documentation. Just the facts.